Stop for a second and think. Why is it that the more you give, the less you receive? Look at that silent screen in front of you. That agonizing wait for a message that never comes. That knot in your stomach when you see her online but not replying to you. This is not just bad luck. It is the symptom of a disease that is systematically destroying your value as a man. You have been deceived by a culture that profits from your weakness. You've been convinced that kindness is a universal currency for love. But in the cold, hard market of human nature, kindness without respect is worthless paper. It is a debt that no one feels obligated to pay. What you are about to hear is not dating advice. It is not a collection of tricks to get a girl to like you. This is an autopsy. We are going to dissect the corpse of your internal nice guy to understand why you have been ignored, replaced, and underestimated by the very people you tried to please. Today, the brutal power hacks of Niccolo Machiavelli meet the cutting edge of modern evolutionary psychology. My goal is to hand you the keys to a kingdom you didn't even know you could claim, your own sovereignty. If you are looking for comfort or a pat on the back, close this video right now. But if you are ready to stop being a spectator in the lives of others, if you are ready to become the ruthless architect of your own destiny, then stay. Because after these 20 minutes, the man you used to be will have ceased to exist. We are starting the fire, and only the sovereign will walk out of the flames. Act 1. The anatomy of the emotional slave. Look at your life through a cold, clinical lens. Most men today are operating under a system of emotional slavery that they themselves helped build, brick by brick. You are living in a fog of modern propaganda that has inverted the natural laws of attraction and power. This narrative has convinced you that your value as a man is directly proportional to your capacity for self-sacrifice. You've been told that being supportive, ever-present, and emotionally vulnerable are the keys to a woman's heart. But the results tell a different story. The men following this advice are the ones being told, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you." They are the ones who get replaced by the man who doesn't even try. Why? Because human nature does not respond to what is certain. It responds to what is earned. When you surrender your frame to become a servant of her whims, you signal that you have no kingdom of your own to rule. You are signaling that your internal world is empty and that you need her presence to fill it. This is not love. It is a parasitic need for validation. Think about the biological reality. For thousands of years, survival depended on the strength of the tribe's leader, the man who could say no, the man who could lead through a storm without shaking. When you act like a servant, you are telling her biology that you are not a leader. You are telling her you are a follower. In this exhaustive masterclass, we will use the surgical logic of Machiavelli's The Prince to dismantle the nice guy archetype. We will explore why your kindness has become your greatest weakness and how to transform your presence into something that commands respect rather than begs for it. We are going to discuss the hidden mechanics of power, the brutal economy of desire, and the reality of social hierarchies that no one wants to talk about in public. Act 2. The economy of absence and the psychology of the void in the world of finance. Value is never an inherent quality. It is a fluctuating state determined by the relationship between supply and demand. In human emotion, the same rule applies with absolute ruthlessness. Most men act as if they are an unlimited commodity. They are always available, always responding, always there. They believe they are building closeness. In reality, they are causing massive emotional inflation. They flood the market with their presence until their value drops to zero. Machiavelli understood that a ruler who is seen too often becomes common. He wrote that the prince must guard his appearances because what is common is never revered. Apply this to your relationships. If you are the first thing she sees on her phone and the last thing she hears at night, you are denying her the most essential element of attraction, the void. The void is the mental space where she wonders about you. It is the silence where her brain is forced to process who you are and what you mean to her. When you fill every second with your presence, you suffocate her interest. Think of the most expensive luxury brands in the world: Rolex, Ferrari, Hermes. Do you see them having a 50% off sale every weekend? Do they have stores on every street corner? No. Their value is protected by their calculated inaccessibility. You must master the vanishing point. This isn't a game. It's a fundamental shift in your lifestyle. A man of high value has a schedule dictated by his purpose, his mission, and his growth, not by his desires for a woman's attention. When you prioritize your training, your business, or your intellectual development over a text message, you are being mean or toxic. You are being a man who has a kingdom to run. You are signaling that your time is a finite, precious resource. This creates a vacuum that she will instinctively feel the need to fill. She will start to ask, what is he doing? Who is he with? Why isn't he thinking about me? Attraction is like fire. It needs oxygen to breathe. Your absence is that oxygen. Without the void, the fire goes out. Act 3. The Neuroscience of Uncertainty. The human brain is a biological machine programmed to detect and solve patterns. This was a survival mechanism. If you knew where the water was and when the sun would set, you survived. However, once a pattern is solved, our brain stops paying attention to it to save energy. This is why you no longer notice the hum of your air conditioner or the feeling of the clothes on your skin. It is also why women stop noticing the man who is perfectly predictable. If you are always agreeable, always happy, and always there, you are a solved puzzle. And in the world of desire, a solved puzzle is a discarded puzzle. Machiavelli's advice to be both the lion and the fox is a masterclass in psychological tension. The lion represents overt strength, boundaries, and authority. The fox represents cunning, elusiveness, and mystery. You must integrate both into your personality. This leads us to intermittent reinforcement, the most powerful psychological hook known to science. It is the exact reason people ruin their lives on gambling or social media. They are chasing a reward that comes at unpredictable intervals. If your validation is a constant stream, it becomes background noise. It has no value. But if your validation is something that must be earned given when she meets your standards and withheld when she does not, it becomes a high-level drug. You must become a man of high contrast. One moment you can be the most charming and attentive man in the world, and the next, you are completely detached, cold, and focused on your work. This shifts the power dynamic. Suddenly, she is no longer the one evaluating you. She is the one trying to figure out how to unlock the reward of your attention again. This isn't about being bad. It's about refusing to be a flat, one-dimensional character in someone else's movie. You are the protagonist, and your plot should be impossible to predict. Act 4. The architecture of the mirror. Every human being carries within them a deep, hidden hunger to be truly understood. However, we live in a world of masks. Most people spend their entire lives pretending to be someone they are not, just to fit into society. They project a persona of strength or independence. But underneath lies the shadow self, the true desires, fears, and vulnerabilities they hide from the rest of the world. The sovereign man does not waste time bragging about his money, his car, or his status. Those are external tools. They are not the source of deep attraction. Instead, he uses the architecture of the mirror. He listens with a predatory intensity. He looks for the cracks in her mask. He asks the questions that no one else dares to ask. When you speak to a woman's shadow self, when you acknowledge the parts of her she thinks are too much for others, you create a psychological bond that feels like fate. She will tell herself, "I've never felt this connection with anyone." But here is the Machiavellian twist. You must never give this understanding for free. It is your most valuable currency. By becoming the only mirror that reflects her true self, you create a monopoly on her emotional well-being. If she respects your frame and contributes to your kingdom, you hold up the mirror and make her feel like the most understood woman on earth. But if she disrespects your boundaries or tries to manipulate the dynamic, you withdraw the mirror. You become a stone wall. The sudden loss of that deep connection will create an emotional winter for her. She will find herself chasing you, just to feel seen again. You are the architect of her emotional reality, but only as long as you remain the absolute master of your own. Act 5. The collapse of the pedestal. We live in an era of unprecedented individualization. Social media has created an artificial inflation of the female ego, leading many men to believe they must worship a woman just to stand a chance. This is the pedestal effect, and it is the fastest way to kill any shred of attraction. When you put someone on a pedestal, you are forcing them to look down on you. It is a biological signal of inferiority. Think about the concept of hypergamy, the biological drive in women to seek a partner of equal or higher status. This is not evil. It is evolutionary survival. If you treat a woman as a goddess, you are signaling to her biology that you are a mere mortal. You are telling her you don't belong in her world because you are beneath her. This creates an immediate instinctive revulsion. She might like you as a friend, but she will never desire you as a man. Machiavelli's effective truth requires you to see her as she is, a flawed, breathing, complex human being. She is not a prize to be won. She is a partner to be evaluated. When you stop being impressed by her beauty, you gain a massive strategic advantage. Start challenging her. Use negative hooks, playful teases that call out her pretensions or her little flaws. If she's late, don't say it's okay. Say, "I hope you're better at other things than you are at being on time." This signals that your standards are higher than just looking good. It signals that you are the one doing the choosing. When you stop acting like a fan, she is forced to start acting like a candidate for your life. Act 6. The sovereignty of the exit. The ultimate weapon in any negotiation, whether in a boardroom, a battlefield, or a bedroom, is the genuine, 100% ability to walk away and never look back. This is the sovereignty of the exit. Machiavelli knew that a prince who cannot sustain himself without the support of others is not a prince, but a puppet. If your happiness is entirely dependent on her approval, you are a hostage. And no one respects a hostage. Most men stay in mediocre or toxic situations because they fear the silence of being alone. They are terrified of the empty space. But the sovereign man knows that his own company is a kingdom in itself. He has built a life so fulfilling, so full of purpose, ambition, and other options, that no single person can complete him. They can only add to the empire he has already built. This is the fundamental difference between need and preference. When you communicate through your actions, not your loud words, that you are willing to end a relationship, the moment your boundaries are crossed, you create a perimeter of respect. She will feel the weight of your possible exit. She will know that her presence in your life is a privilege, not a right. The man who is afraid to lose her will eventually lose her. The man who is truly willing to lose her is the only one she will ever truly fear losing. Your power is directly tied to your independence. Act 7. The reign of the self. We conclude this journey where it began, with you. This entire masterclass was never truly about controlling anyone else. That was just the lure to get you to listen to the truth. This was about the ruthless government of your own soul. You have been a slave to your impulses, your thirst for validation, and your fear of loneliness. Today, that ends. The sovereign code is not a set of tricks or hacks, it is a way of being. It is the realization that you are the center of your own universe. When you stop seeking external approval, the world begins to seek yours. When you master your own mind, you master your environment. Do not go out and try to use these principles like a script. Instead, become the man that these principles describe. Build your body, build your business, build your mind. Become so valuable that the thought of losing you keeps others awake at night. If you are ready to stop being a passenger in your own life and finally take the throne, prove it. Write in the comments, "The sovereign has awakened." This is your declaration of independence. Subscribe to join the ranks of those who choose power over comfort. Your reign starts now.